Hello all you out there in YouTube land, this is Trans8010 and I'm back with another action figure review. And for those of you, that is a sigh of relief because I haven't been gone for a little while. I think the last review I did was probably the Ninja Turtles Raphael one. I know I probably uploaded some old ones during that time, but really the last one that I shot recently was the Raphael one. And for that I apologize, but I work in a world of retail and I can't really make my own schedule, you know, especially during the holiday times. So, my apologies for that. So, for a lot of you, this is a major sigh of relief. Anyway, getting back to it, I'm here with another action figure review. I'm going with something a little bit more modern, and of course, because all of you have been asking for some more modern toys, I have with me the next figure in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot line, and he is Leonardo, the leader and king of the twin katana swords. As you can see, I did remove him from the package. I did get this the same time as I got Raphael, and before I realized that I was doing reviews on these things, I had already opened Leonardo. Whoops. Bummer, sorry about that. But if you want to see some pictures of him in the package, you can always look on eBay, Amazon, Toys R Us. I don't know if Toys R Us has pictures of them on the card. Well, anyway, or you just go to your local stores if you can find them. I mean, they are the hottest Christmas toy item right now. I mean, I had a hard time trying to find my Metalhead figure. Whoops, spoiler review. Alert. So anyway, here we have the nice little card in the blister packaging. This is your standard blister packaging for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As you can see, it's very purplish with a nice little warm neon green that complements the purple very nicely. It's very attractive if you're going down the toy aisle. The logo, of course, Nickelodeon, is one of the things that will definitely sell this line to little kids. And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, of course, will sell the adults and, of course, the turtle fan. There isn't much personalization to this cards, unlike the original vintage line that I've been covering so affectionately well. Although I do have to say that I kind of like the the four turtles right here on the side. Now, of course, the figures themselves aren't really toon accurate, and I'm perfectly fine with that, as we'll see when I actually review the actual figure. But I do love the blister card packaging. I especially love the bubble with its ridged, almost turtle shell-like detail. I love when you open up the bubble catalog and you see the little splotches of paint, almost like street art. Very, very reminiscent of New York street art, if I do say so myself. I love the abstract buildings. It tells you so much of what this show is about and the toy line. It's mixing the new with the old school. Awesome. On the back, we do have a very nice little blurb about Leonardo. Little bio as you... There we go. Trying to get the light perfect. A little bio, a little bit more of that wonderful card art. And, of course, the figures that you can buy with in stores right about now. There are 3 more as I shoot this review. Dog Pound, Metalhead as I already revealed, and Fish Face. But enough about that. Let's take a look at the figure itself. And here he is, the Battle Commander himself, Leonardo. First off, let me just say his facial expression is that of, I would like to say, hesitation. He's very much got a mean grimace, almost like a smile on this side and a frown on this side. Kind of like he's torn whether he likes the battle or if he's more just reserved for, unlike Raphael, who has more of a streak of rage. Very much complements this figure, the hesitant but confident battle commander. I do love the sculpt of this figure. It looks very much like an anthropomorphic turtle with the very large forearms. And of course the wraps around his wrists and his knuckles. So after all, if you're punching dudes a lot, you're going to need a little bit more padding. So it's more of a realistic approach for these action figures. and very much a nice little styling from the comic look, and something a little bit new added for this line. I especially love how large the feet are, and of course the textured details on the turtle shell, which is more of a little rubber, so you can actually, when you pose these guys to sit down, yeah, these guys can sit down now. There isn't as much resistance when it comes to the shell. Awesome, huh? Alright, zoom back out again. Let's find something else that I can put this camera on so you can get a full body shot. Alright, there we go. Nice little full body shot. Well, this will have to do. There isn't as much paint on here that I would like to see. I do think the wraps on Leonardo, especially the wraps on his hands, the back of his wrists, and are a little too bright, and they are a little bit distracting. I think they should have toned down the paint on Leonardo's wraps a little bit more. Other than that, I really don't see that much flaw with the paint. There is a little bit of slop, especially on the bandana. Luckily, usually when I look at these figures when I'm buying them from the store, I'm usually looking at the bandana. I should be looking everywhere else because there is a little bit of slop here. Maybe a little bit of alcohol will probably remove that. It's not a deal breaker. After all, this is, more of a children's line than it is a collector's line. So it's not really something to complain too much about. He's got the sheaths attached to the bandolier. It is removable, but I'm not going to do that because even if I was to look at the shell, I could just peel it back a little bit so you can see. Another thing about Leonardo that you probably have already seen off of other reviews is his sculpt is completely different from Raphael's. That, for those of you who do not know, they used completely different sculpts for each of the turtles, and it gives them each their own little distinct personality, their own uniqueness. Also, one thing that I love about this new turtle line is, I'm going to do this with all the turtle action figures just to make my point, they have awesome balance. I mean, can you do this with the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line? Could you? Could you be able to do a nice little roundhouse kick with your original Ninja Turtles? I don't think so. Would you be able to sit them down without them looking like spread eagle or something? No, you couldn't. This is what I love most about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line, is their articulation. The ball-jointed shoulders that go 360 up and down, the swivel elbows that also rotate 360, same thing with the swivel wrists. The head is on a ball joint, doesn't move up and down because of the shell. The shell does limit the articulation, but he can look down, doesn't really need to look up as much. I don't really bother me much. And of course, the hip joint. That hip joint is just a major plus in my opinion. Just up and down, 360. And of course, he's got some knee joints. Because Leonardo, he needs to do a little Captain Morgan stance every once in a while. That's right, Captain Morgan at Leo. A lot of people complain that there isn't so much of an ankle joint, but for me, these feet are so solid that if there was an ankle joint, just the weight of this figure alone would probably cause it to loosen up a little bit, and he wouldn't be able to perform such great poses after a while, like that roundhouse kick. Alright, Leonardo also comes with his signature weapons, and they fit comfortably in the sheath. His twin katana swords, you can have them in the sheath, like so. When at rest, they look really cool. Or take them out and they fit very snugly in the hand for some nice little fighting time, little sparring, little action. Another thing I love about these swords compared to the vintage line, they're made of a much more tougher plastic. So very, very stiff. These things are not going to wilt over time, so that's something I absolutely love. And another nod to the vintage line, as you probably noticed in Raphael, they have weapons racks, or little sprues that you had to detach all these itty-bitty little weapons from. Like this long katana sword, these two Ninja Star Shrieking weapons. One thing I must say though, be careful when you're removing these, because, focus, that little joint right there, that little stress mark, yeah. When removing these, they kind of bent in a little bit, so I had to use scissors to cut those out. Some throwing knives. Many of you older fans will probably recognize these as the orange foot soldier weapon of choice in the Ninja Turtles in Time video game. And this little fist dagger. Some stuff that are very reminiscent of the vintage Ninja Turtles line for those older collectors. And of course, we also got a really nifty product catalog with the turtle lair. They better have that next year because stores are sold out and I really want one. Little roleplay weapons, sound effects turtles, and of course the other stuff that you can collect, like the Rippin' Rider, the skateboard and stunt ramp, the Ninja Stuff bike, the Dragon Chopper, and of course the Shell Razor. And of course we have a nice little mural of the turtles right here. I really love product catalogs. They're definitely something that really went with the vintage line. For those of you who can remember what product catalogs were, Kenner used to do them a lot with their Batman and other real Ghostbusters and whatever lines that they had. Just little things that you can collect that will tell you what was coming out and what was featured in the collection. Just stuff that I really love. And that's it for Leonardo. I hope you all enjoy this review. This is definitely one of my favorite figure lines to collect so far in 2012, and it possibly is my all-time favorite figure line to collect at this point in the year. The other one I would say is Masters of the Universe Classics, but unfortunately, due to Digital River and all of the customer service hoopla with Matty Collector and the lack of characters I don't really care about, I haven't really collected that much from that. So right now it looks like this is it for my toy of the year 2012. It's got to be the Ninja Turtles line, just because of how fun they are, the uniqueness, and just the overall throwback flavor that Playmates brought to this new line. I'm very much excited to what this line is going to bring also into the next couple of years. So this is Trans8010, and I am signing off. Buy the figure.